Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I've got an absolute shed load to fuck. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I have got an absolute shed load of stuff to get through today. You guys have really done me proud again. Thanks so much for all the comments, the questions, everything you've basically given me to talk about this morning. You've been absolutely brilliant as per usual. I'll start with a couple of hellos. First one is to Chris Hukin. I don't know whether he still watches the videos. He's taking a bit of a break from social media at the moment. I just wanted to say hi, Chris, to you, and to just let you know that we haven't forgotten about you, and we're looking forward to you coming back at some point. And also a hello to Scott, who's now back with us. He's been back with us for a couple of weeks, but to be honest, I completely forgot to welcome him back. So hope you're feeling better for your break from social media, mate, and it's good to have you back. Right, I've got a new subscriber, and Jason, before you say anything at all, there is a fly in the room. I can hear it buzzing round. The last time I had a fly in the room, Jason thought it was in his room because it was so loud, but there is another one buzzing about, so just so you know. I've got a new subscriber. So pleased to have him on board. Sammy G's World of Cinema. Sam, morning, mate. He subscribed the other night to the channel. We've been having little sort of conversations over YouTube about his videos, my videos, and this, that, and the other. Really nice guy. I did put a link to his channel on last week's video, so if you haven't already, just go and check some of his videos out. They're pure class, really are, really good. Let me see, what have I got here? Just bear with me. Just to describe roughly what the videos are, because obviously you've only seen the one. What they are, basically, they're not so much review videos or anything like that. This is my version of a cuppa and a chat with the group members, and I don't really like calling them members because they're more than that. They're more like mates nowadays. We've sort of got sort of our 5 or 6 or 7 sort of core members who post regularly most days, and who always comment on the videos and always join in with the chats and this, that, and the other. We've got a load more that sort of sit on the side and just take it all in, which is perfectly fine. It's good to have them aboard, but you will get to know them if you decide to join the group at some point, because you're on a break from social media at the moment, and I totally get that. I did think about it last night when we were talking about it, and as I said, I will be watching a movie and all of a sudden I'll just pull my phone out and start checking, you know, whether anybody's commented on what I'm watching or this, that, and the other, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. It's no wonder I can't remember plot lines and actresses and actors and directors and this, that, and the other, because I'm not watching it closely enough, because I'm too busy looking at what people are saying on Facebook or Instagram. So I do absolutely totally get that people need a break from it every now and then, and I mean a complete blackout. I totally get it. But we were chatting over YouTube about various things, and as I say, you will get to know most of the guys that I sort of talk about and talk to on the videos, because they're all core members of the group, as I'm sure you will be one day. And Stuart, oh no, Stuart won't, because he don't do social media at all, does he? At all, he doesn't do any of it. So I do look forward to you joining at some point, but as I say, I totally get you needing the break. I really do. And as I've said before, when you do join the group, you are more than welcome to share your videos, post anything movie wise on there. We all do. I do my videos. Chris, when he's about, he does his videos. We get the occasional one from Jason. It's always memorable. The occasional little one from Mark. And we've got obviously the various podcasts that people post on there. So as I say, you're more than welcome to post your content on there. The more we get on there, the better. It's a busy group, and I mean a really busy group. You can't go on there any day and not see less than 10 posts. Very unlikely. So as I say, you'll be made very welcome by the members. I'll just run through them very quickly so you know roughly who you're dealing with. Let's see. Group members. We've got Guy. Guy is a musician. I'll say no more than that. He's a member of a band. He performs all over sort of the Midlands and this, that, and the other. So really nice guy, really genuine guy. Used to work with him years and years ago. Then you've got Callista. Now, Guy and Callista run a video podcast which they which every week. Oh, here we go, first cock up of the day, and I'm not going back and doing it again. Fuck that. Yeah, Guy and Callie do a video podcast every week called Hun Your Geek is Showing, where they discuss various franchises, genres of movies. Callista's main passion is sort of comic books, figures, all that sort of stuff. Genuine, really, really nice lady. Fiery as fuck, but really nice. So let's see. Mark is just an average working guy like me who loves his movies. I enjoy Mark's comments. You'll see why later. Steve Mack. Steve Mack is our Criterion guy. He runs a channel called Let's Talk Criterion, where he reviews future and current releases from the Criterion label. He joins in with a lot of the posts. He always comments on the videos. Jason K, our Ginger Ninja. Jason is in Australia. What a geezer. He loves his sort of horror movies. He does 2 video threads a week, which are Trashy Tuesdays, where he reviews, I don't want to say rubbish films because they're not, but if you take a look at his channel, there's a link to it on mine, you'll see the kind of movies that he enjoys doing. He also does Franchise Friday, which is where once a week he will talk about one particular instalment of a particular franchise. We're in the middle of the Hellraiser series at the moment. But a really, really nice guy. Let's see, Jason K. I've done him. Chris, who I mentioned earlier, who's on a break from social media. He's our techie guy. I think he's in IT, and his videos are just brilliant when he does them. They are. He does a lot of sort of Marvel videos and stuff like that, and I think he's got some very, very good software for editing, which I haven't got and wouldn't have the patience to use if I had. And Jason P, who I always consider to be the figurehead. Jason's the one that comes up with all the threads that you'll see on there. Sort of never seen it. My favourite movie. He does all sorts. There's not more than, how can I put it? You can't get through sort of a fortnight with this without something new coming up. And he's very, very forthright in his opinions, as you will hear when I read out his comments later on. But as I say, they're the core members. If I've forgotten anybody, I do apologise. But as I say, I don't really like calling them members. They're more like friends nowadays. And the videos are basically just my way of having a cuppa and a natter with them, without them being able to answer back, which is bloody brilliant. I'm not sure I could cope with that. So, but as I say, you'll be made more than welcome when you do decide to join the group. And as I say to everybody else, if you want to check out Sam's channel, there's a link on last week's video, and if I think on, I'll put one on this one as well. But he's a really nice guy, and his channel's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and that accent is to die for, have to say. So, right, I'll start with comments on last week's video, and seeing as we're on the subject of Sam, I'll start with Sam. Hey Tone, thanks for the shout out, much appreciated, and thanks for the kind words. I'll be sure to check out your website. The website is my baby, it always has been. I built it probably 3-4 years ago. I just basically, or used to, review movies, just put brief reviews on there. There are articles on there about my memories of cinema in the 70s and 80s. They're all fairly short, very easily digestible. It's a nice looking website. I'm really impressed with the way it looks. And for the graphics, I've got another member called Dave Lowe, who I forgot to mention, morning Dave, and Lee, who helped me, well, didn't help, they designed the graphics and the headers for the website, which is why it looks the way it does. Brilliant. So yeah, please feel free to check the website out. Obviously there's also, what have I got here? I've got Instagram, Letterboxd, there's obviously the Facebook group, the channel. There's lots going on. I don't know how I'll keep up with it. The website, as I say, is what started it all. That was the first thing I did. And on the back of that, a couple of guys at work, Dave and Lee, suggested that I start a YouTube channel, which I was completely and utterly against at the time. I think the first video I did was about 2-3 minutes, and it was an absolute disaster. I posted every now and then just to remind everybody what I used to be like. I could barely talk for 2 or 3 minutes in a go, and now I'm doing sort of an hour, hour and a half, sometimes the odd 2-hour one. But I try to keep them under an hour if I can, because I think it's an easily digestible sort of time for them. Oh God, where was I keep diversifying. So yeah, please feel free to check out the website and comment on any of the articles there, and it'll always be nice to get. It's always nice to get feedback on it. On the subject of your accent, I was saying I loved your accent. I'm from West Yorkshire originally, but been based in Northumberland for coming up to 8 years now. I hope to do a video about Tyneside Cinema in the future. Now then, I've actually been on the website this morning for Tyneside Cinema. I didn't know they got one. What a place. I can't wait to see the video you do from there. The rota of movies that they've got on there, so impressed. A lot of independent cinema, a lot of old classics. They're screening the Star Wars saga, as we said last night. Jaws is on there. There are independent movies on there I've never even heard of, and I'm a big lover of independent films. So I'm really, really impressed, and I can't wait to see you do a video from inside there. Let's see. What is your anticipated new releases coming out? Also, your favourite film of 2024 so far? I had to go back on IMDb to do this. I've got the most awful memory, as you will realise the more you get to know me. My memory is bloody awful. So I had to go back on IMDb and go through all of the movies released so far and all the movies that are yet to come. And I've made a little list here of ones that I was actually really impressed with. Under Paris, which I watched a couple of weeks ago, which is the new shark movie on Netflix. Bloody brilliant, really, really good. I think it's the shark movie we've been waiting for quite a while. So yeah, I was really impressed with that. Back to Black, I enjoyed that one. I know nothing or knew nothing about Amy Winehouse apart from all the tabloid rubbish that used to follow her around pretty much everywhere. But I loved it as a biopic. I thought it was excellent. The soundtrack was superb. Really, really impressed with the lead actress's portrayal of her. I just thought she was great. What we got? Roadhouse. I loved Roadhouse. Anybody on the group will tell you I was dead against it when I first heard about it. Jake Gyllenhaal playing Dalton. How the hell can that possibly work? And you know what? I thought everybody's watching it. This was when it first landed on Prime, probably 2-3 months ago. I thought everybody's commenting on it on the group. Obviously, I need to have a look at it so I can join in with this. I went into it with the lowest of expectations and came out of it completely blown away. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. So yeah, well impressed with Roadhouse. The Strangers Chapter 1, quite enjoyed that one. That wasn't bad. The Fall Guy, another one that I was just not interested in at all, basically because I'd never seen the series. But I have got season 1 now, so I will be taking a look at that sometime. But I just thought it was a good, fun movie. If I'd have thought that, well, whether I'd have thought the same if I'd have seen the series, I don't know, because everybody else pretty much said they weren't keen on it. But I thought it was okay for me as a standalone thing. What else have I got here? Just bear with me. Civil War. That was good. Dark as hell, but really good. That's Alex Garland's latest movie. After the movie he did called Men, that was the last thing I expected to come out with. I was really, really surprised and very pleasantly surprised. And Axel F. Quite enjoyed that one. Saw that one a couple of days ago. Came out of that one completely blown away. Again, went into it with the lowest expectations, thinking, God, I hope they've got this right. I truly hope they've done this right, otherwise it's going to be a disaster. Pleasantly surprised. Really, really good film. If you've not seen it yet, and you like the Beverly Hills Cop movies, Eddie's back, and he's back on form. Really, really good. So, yeah, they're the movies that I've enjoyed so far this year. Let's see, my most anticipated movies. These are ones I'm looking forward to. Gladiator 2, big fan of the original. Haven't seen it for a while, but loved it. Really looking forward to seeing what Paul Mescal does with the lead role. I believe he's playing Russell Crowe's son, I think. Let's see, Francis Ford Coppola's latest epic, Megalopolis. Megalopolis, which looks as bizarre as hell, but looks really good. So I'm looking forward to that. The Bike Riders, which is Tom Hardy and another geezer whose name I cannot remember. All to do with biker gangs. apparently it's not what you think it's going to be. I had this image in my head that it was going to be something like a cross between the Wild One, the Marlon Brando movie, and something like Sons of Anarchy, the series from a few years ago. But apparently it's not what you're going to be expecting, but I'm really, really looking forward to seeing that. And I wish I could remember the other guy's name. It's not Brad Pitt, but it's somebody like him. I can't remember. Let's see, what else have I got here? Horizon, an American saga. This is Kevin Costner's new sweeping epic Western saga. Nobody does westerns like Kevin Costner nowadays. I've been told to watch a movie called Open Range, which is absolutely superb. I do remember Dances with Wolves. He was superb in that. So I'm very much looking forward to watching Horizon, which is going to be, I believe, in 2 or 3 parts, and each part is going to be of epic length. So looking forward to that. Let's see, Twisters, the sequel to the original Twister from the 90s. Looking forward to that one, even though Bill Paxton isn't in it. Let's see, Alien Romulus, can't wait for that one. I've only ever seen the first 4 Alien films. I've got all the others on Blu-ray but not had a chance to watch them yet. So I need to get on board with all of the others, Covenant, Prometheus, all that sort of thing, preferably before I watch Alien Romulus. But from the trailers, and knowing that Fede Alvarez has directed it, the guy who did the remake of The Evil Dead a few years ago, that's going to be worth a look. Hopefully they don't fuck it up. Beetlejuice 2, not a massive fan of the original, but I did enjoy it. But I would very much like to see what Michael Keaton does with the role sort of 30, 40 years on. So yeah, looking forward to that one. What else have I got? Wolves, George Clooney and Brad Pitt. Saw the trailer for this probably a couple of weeks back. Intrigued. It looks amazing. It's a story like nothing I've ever heard of before, but that's definitely going to be worth a look. And Brad Pitt, who just ages better than any man in the known world, he has no right to look that good at the age he is, and I look like this. He is Benjamin Button, basically. He is. He's going backwards in age. He must be. Terrifier 3, absolutely not. Another thing you will learn about me is I'm not a great fan of graphic violence, and I mean really graphic violence. I can cope with it if it's not too graphic, but anything that goes along the lines of Terrifier 2, which I haven't seen. I have seen the original, and I just thought it was outrageously violent, but it was passable. I just about got through it. Terrifier 2, as soon as I heard about the bedroom scene, I had to have a look at it, but I couldn't watch it on a full-size screen. I got it up on my phone. It was no bigger than the size of a postage stamp with the sound down, and it was still horrifying. And I thought, no way, absolutely not watching it. So when I read this week that Terrifier 3 has already had people walking out and being sick and this, that and the other, I thought, why on earth would you want to make something more violent than that? Why do we have to go down that route? Why can't we just make better movies with better stories? Why do we just have to keep going down this, we're going to make it even more sickening than the last one? No, it doesn't make a good movie, not for me. So that's a definite no from me, that one. Looking forward to the remake of Nosferatu, which is it, what's the name of the geezer in it? Nicholas Hoult, I believe he's in it. So yeah, looking forward to that. Big fan of the original from 1922, loved it. Wasn't so keen on the remake with Klaus Kinski. That would have been about 1979, but it wasn't bad. But definitely looking forward to seeing what they do with this one. Another one that I want to see is The Last Voyage of the Demeter. I believe, Mark, you saw that quite a while ago, and you said, "This, can you see this fly buzzing around? It's doing me already." But yeah, looking forward to Nosferatu. There's a movie knocking about called Kinds of Kindness, which I'm also looking forward to seeing. It just sounds as weird as hell, but the trailer makes it look brilliant, so I'm definitely up for that one. And finally, Longlegs, which is Nicolas Cage's latest sort of serial killer type movie, which looks awesome, if a little strange, but that's Nick Cage for you. But that pretty much answers your question on the movies that I've enjoyed this year, and obviously the ones that are coming up. If I think of any more, I'll let you know. You keep up the great work, Tone, mate, and hope your weekend's going well. It is, absolutely. Actually, I've got a question for you. Is there a movie of yours, a favourite movie of yours, that you would like me to write a little article on the website? I would love to do that. Name me a movie. In fact, name me 4 or 5. So I've got 4 or 5 to go at, and I'll pick one, preferably that I've not seen before. I'll take a look at it, and then I'll put my thoughts on the website, and I'll obviously give your channel a mention on that. So if you think of any, just let me know, and I'll give that a go. Let's see. I definitely want to organise a video about Tyneside. I can't wait for that. I might try and see if 1 or 2 of the staff would like to be interviewed. Cracking idea. Possibly just for a quick Q&A regarding the video. I think that's a brilliant idea. I was going to do something similar myself ages ago, but I don't do the cinema anymore, which is odd for a guy who runs a cinema blog. But there was an incident a few years ago, which everybody on the group knows about. I basically sat there one night watching a movie, and while I was watching this movie, there were just people talking all the way through it. There were phones lighting up like bloody Christmas trees all around me, and I thought, you know what, I can't do this anymore. And ever since then, I've basically watched movies at home, not been to the cinema since. That must have been 20-30 years ago. I do mean to keep going, and I did mention that if I was going to do it, it would probably be a little cinema in Barton, which is a village probably 3-4 miles away from Burton. In their marina, they've got a cinema called the Red Carpet, and they screen a lot of the kind of things that Tyneside screens. And I said that I was maybe going to do a video from there, but I've not got around to it yet. So, and I'm fairly sure I'll get hails of abuse, basically saying, "Why have you done that yet?" So, yeah, I think that's a great idea, mate. You go for it. Can't wait for the next Saturday's blog, Tone. I really enjoyed doing that vid about my double bill choices at the cinema. Be very, very eager to hear your choices as well. I am going to start a regular thread of a double bill every week of movies that I think go well together, and I'll start with this one first. Fright. I've shown this off before, but you won't have seen it. This stars Susan George, was made in 1971. It also starred George Cole, Honor Blackman, and Dennis Waterman in an early role. This is basically the original Babysitter in Peril movie, as I say, made in 1971. It's a British film. Girl is asked to babysit a child in a sort of a mansion, a large house in the middle of the countryside, middle of nowhere, and I won't give any more away about this. I don't want to give spoilers away. I know the thing is over 50 years old, but if you've not seen it, this is a really entertaining thriller stroke horror movie. It's got some genuinely unsettling moments in there, and I would pair that on a double bill with that one, which you can't see because the light's shining on it, When a Stranger Calls. This is the one that took the mantle that this one set and ran with it. This one was made in 1979, I believe. I saw this on a double bill with a movie called Monster, which was also known as Humanoids from the Deep, which was a Roger Corman monster movie. Was it that one? Can't remember. I've definitely seen it on a double bill anyway. I've actually got the poster for it in one of my rooms upstairs, and I will take a picture of that because I've got a wall that's basically covered in original UK quad posters that the usherettes at the Burton Odeon used to give to me every week, and some of them I kept and framed in sort of put them behind perspex, and they're all upstairs. And this was, I'm sure, yes, it was on a double bill with Monster, Humanoids from the Deep. What a double bill that was. But this, again, is one of the most unsettling movies you will ever see. And as I've said before, you never ever forget the classic line that you hear 20 minutes in that literally makes your stomach sink. So if you've not seen When a Stranger Calls, highly recommended, and watch them back to back with that one. So you've got When a Stranger Calls and Fright. And that is my double bill for this week. There'll be another one next week if I think on. So thanks ever so much for all that. I loved your double bill video, by the way. Oh, awesome. Yes, great choices. King Kong and Mighty Joe Young, the originals. not the remakes. These were the King Kong from 1933 and Mighty Joe Young, I think, was 1949. I've never seen Mighty Joe Young. I now want to see it, now that you've shown it off. Psycho 2 and Elm Street 3, brilliant. What an absolute cracking double bill that would be. Elm Street 3, I think, was a step up from the original Elm Street, which will always be the best. But Elm Street 3 took it to another level with special effects, story, all that sort of thing. So I totally get that one. Star Trek the Motion Picture and 2001. Like you say, you'd have to set 4 hours plus aside for that one. But Star Trek the Motion Picture, I have always loved it. Recently purchased it on 4K, can't wait to watch it. 2001 I've seen once. Loved it up until the last 20 minutes, but the ending made absolutely no sense whatsoever, and I've never watched it since. I've always meant to watch it. I grabbed it on 4K just recently because people told me that the transfer is absolutely outstanding. So I will be taking a look at that at some point, but I'm not I'm not going into it with any expectations that the ending is going to make any more sense than it did the first time round, because I think people are still debating it now, sort of 60, 70 years on. But a cracking choice. The Wicker Man and Ennis Main. Apparently the men, it says Ennis Men, apparently it's pronounced Ennis Main, so I heard on a podcast. The Wicker Man, as you say, stone cold classic, brilliant movie. Ending is just devastating. I love it mostly for the soundtrack, believe it or not. I think the folk music in there is absolutely superb. I've got a Blu-ray version of it. Have I got it on 4K? Yes, I've got it on 4K, and I believe that contains the soundtrack. And I keep meaning to put that in the car because that's nice, easy listening kind of music, so long as you don't think about what what it's sort of in front of. Ennis Main I've not watched yet. I want to watch it because I've heard so many good things about it, but I've also been warned it is exceptionally weird, very, very strange. Evil Dead 1 and 2, absolutely brilliant, superb. Great double bill. So yeah, really enjoyed that video. And I believe you went to your first ever triple bill last night. Oh, well, it would have been last week by the time you're watching this, which is the Ty West Trilogy X, Pearl, and I believe Maxine. Maxine is getting some absolutely blinding reviews. I've got the first two on Blu-ray, which I keep meaning to bring downstairs and put near the TV, so that I get to watch those. But yeah, really enjoyed that video on double bills, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts on the triple bill night if you do a video on that. So thanks ever so much for that, Sam. You've dominated the first half hour. I don't know whether I'm going to wrap this up in an hour or not, but we shall see. So I think the best thing I can do now, I'll do a couple of little comments. That'll take me up to 30 minutes. Steve Mack, our Criterion guy. Morning, Steve. We're talking about Pixar movies. Pixar's originality is now gone. The last good one for me was Soul, which is one that's always appealed to me. I've never actually watched it, but it sounds a little more grown up and more my sort of style, which also had a good soundtrack. The quality of the Toy Story movies has also gone now. He's going to have to fall into it. I think movies really do struggle after sort of the second sequel or the first sequel or whatever. They struggle to make it anything close to original. So I do kind of get that. One of my favourites is still Up. Up, I've heard a lot about, mostly the beginning, which I've heard is devastating. It's had people in floods of tears, and I can't imagine why. But it is one that I do need to take in at some point. You were saying about Star Wars as well. We were talking about the sort of the early days of Super 8 and VHS. It was really exciting when Star Wars was eventually released on VHS rental. I had that Star Wars book as well. I put that back upstairs, otherwise I'd have shown it off again. That was basically bought on the back of Guy and Callie's podcast when they were talking about the Star Wars expanded media. Expanded media, that's what I was trying to say. And I remembered that I had those paperbacks many years ago. Obviously over the decades they've been either sold or thrown away or given away or whatever, and I suddenly found myself wanting to own them again, so I went on eBay and got the 3 of them. Star Wars, that fly's just dive bombed me again. Bloody thing. Got them on eBay, I think for a total of about 10 quid. and they are the original paperback movie tie-ins of the films, which the original Star Wars, I read it over and over again, absolutely loved it, but didn't read the other two. So now I've got them, and some others which I'm going to be showing off a little bit later. I'll be taking those in again. So right, I'll take a quick break. I'm up to 30 minutes, and I'll be back with more very shortly. Back in a sec. And we're back. Right, I think I finally got rid of that fly. I'm hoping it's that one. I managed to usher it out of the back door, but whether it'll come back in again because I've left the door open, I don't know. So right, cracking on with the comments. Jason K, our Ginger Ninja, morning Jay. Great video, Tony. Glad you're feeling better. Cheers, mate. It wasn't the best start to the week, definitely not. I had all these plans of stuff that I wanted to do, including the video for the weekend, and only just made it by the skin of my teeth. So I've not seen The Last Dragon in so long. I need to revisit it soon. I'm actually halfway through it. I'm hoping to get it finished after I finish this video. Sorry. Completely lost the thread of what I was saying there. Yeah, hoping to finish it after I finish this video. I'll bang it on and finish it off. I think I've got about 45 minutes, but really impressed. It's a cracking movie. Another one that I regret not watching when it first came out. It's taken me 40 years to catch up with that one, as it has a lot of the movies that I've not seen. But yeah, yeah, really good. Like you, I have yet to see Blowout. I have actually seen it, but a long time ago. It would have been when it came out at the cinema, 1981. Definitely good, really, really good. But I hear nothing about good things. I hear nothing but good things. Yeah, it's one of De Palma's best, absolutely. His best, to me, will always be Dressed to Kill, and possibly Carrie as a second. But Blowout would definitely come probably third, and Body Double fourth, which I also enjoyed. But Dressed to Kill was just amazing film, brilliant. I'm trying after work, so we'll see how it goes, but then I'm usually exhausted from work. Catch 22. Oh, that's when you were going to watch it, is it? I'm the same. By the time I get home from work, there's no point in putting a movie on, usually, especially if it's early evening, because I just can't stay awake long enough to see the end of it. So I do totally get that. Weekends are my time for catching up on movies, as is, when I'm off work. Like I have been this week, I've not really had much chance to do anything but watch TV and movies, so that's why I've got quite a few watched this week. But yeah, totally get that. I am glad you're enjoying your reviews. I've got a couple. I'm glad you're enjoying the. Do you know what? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Zen. I'm glad you're enjoying the reviews. I've got a couple lined up which I think you'll get a kick out of. Really looking forward to finding out what they're going to be. With Hellraiser, you can see where they aren't true Hellraiser movies, but that doesn't make them bad, does it? Not at all. I will still watch them, preferably after I've seen your reviews of them. And no, if they're sort of the fourth or fifth sequel, it doesn't automatically make them bad. We know they're never going to live up to the original. But no, absolutely doesn't necessarily make them bad, not at all. Now, I know you mentioned purchases from Umbrella, and I just purchased something from there that is hurting my wallet even now. I've been eyeing it for a long time, can't wait to show it off. So looking forward to that. When I was on Umbrella's site, after I'd seen this comment, I thought, I wonder which one he's got. I'm guessing it's a horror related thing, but yeah, really looking forward to seeing the unboxing or whatever of that one. I haven't seen the Giant Spider Invasion, but I will try to get a hold of it. Please do. I would love to hear your thoughts on the 1976 classic monster movie, The Giant Spider Invasion. Yeah, very much looking forward to seeing what you make of that. You did challenge me last week. Sam, you won't know this. There's a little thread that runs occasionally on this where people challenge me to watch movies that take me right out of my comfort zone. They are usually, well, like this one. Challenge Tony Time, The Raid, bone-crunching Malaysian action movie with some of the best martial arts I've ever seen. Or Boy Kills World, bloody and violent but a lot of fun. Yeah, not selling me on it at all. You know I don't like graphically violent movies, but I accepted the challenge as I always do. I have ordered a copy of The Raid. Not only a copy of The Raid, but The Raid 2. It came as a double pack on Blu-ray, so I'm going to get both of those. Boy Kills World, I don't think I'm going to buy because I don't think I'll make it through that one. This is the one that I went on the parents' guide about last week and thought, oh, Jesus, no, there's no way I'm going to make it through that. But I will give it a go. I will get hold of it and I will give it a try. But yeah, if you've got any suggestions, Sam, that you would like me to watch that are going to take me out of my comfort zone, please don't mention Human Centipede or anything like that. I won't watch anything like that out of principle, basically because it just sounds revolting and completely pointless to me. But if you've got any that you want to challenge me to, please feel free to ask. Thanks for that, Jay. Much appreciated, mate. Always good to hear from you. Guy. Morning, Guy. Great stuff, mate. Sorry for not commenting last week. Time got away from me. Honestly, it doesn't matter. I keep saying this. With my videos, as I said, the light buses, if you miss one, there's another one along very shortly, so don't worry about that. £75 for Caligula. Bollocks to that. That's the Umbrella box set that I was just talking to Jason about. It's got a lot of stuff in it, and I am a huge fan of the movie. I haven't seen it for a while, but I do love it. And basically, to have a set as complete as that, I think it's got every single cut of the movie that's ever been released, probably 5 different cuts. You've got magazines, you've got books, you've got art cards, posters, there's everything in there. To me, £75 is quite reasonable. What's going to kill it is the postage, but I don't know what that's going to be yet. But they do an offer on there, whereas if you purchase $200 Australian dollars worth of product, you get free postage. But whether that applies to abroad or not, I don't know. But I'm going to be looking into it before I hit the buy it now button. But I'm getting dangerously close because I really want that very, very badly. Blow Up. The 1966 movie. The best part is when the Yardbirds have a cameo in it playing the classic Stroll On. See, I didn't know that, and I would never have thought in a million years that you'd have seen Blow Up, so you caught me by surprise with that one. I do want to watch it. I would love to see it on a double bill with Blowout, which is a basic, it's not a remake, but it's along similar lines. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that. At some point I shall be adding that to my watch list. More news on that watch list a little bit later on, by the way. You definitely need to put your watch list in order. Oh, funny, we were just talking about that. Just picking films willy-nilly will get you nowhere. Get organised. I'm going to be showing something off next week that I ordered last night, which will hopefully put all of that to bed once and for all. So I know that I need to get it into some sort of order, just randomly looking at the DVD shelf or the stuff that I've recorded and just thinking, oh, I'll watch that, maybe that, yeah, no, that. It does no good. I need to get a weekly watch list of 5 or possibly 6 movies and stick to it and not do any more until I've watched those, which is why I'm determined not to watch any other movies apart from Spider-Man No Way Home and finishing off The Last Dragon. As soon as I've got those 2 out of the way, I can move on to the next week's watch list, which I've already sorted out, by the way. But yes, there'll be more news on that one next week. Nice Star Wars book. Do check out the Heir to the Empire trilogy. You'll love them. More news on that later. Barbarella remake. That'll be shite then. I thought so as well. The only reason that turned me up, well, the only thing that turned me onto it was finding out that Edgar Wright was in the running to direct it. I do like Edgar Wright stuff. Shaun of the Dead, Last Night in Soho, all that sort of thing. Really enjoyed it. But I just think it'd be a perfect fit. If anybody's got to do it, I would rather it be him, because I think we stand a chance of getting a really good one. But we shall see. You were talking about the Timothy Zahn books on your Honey Geek is Showing podcast. You've got such a passion for these books, you really have. And here comes the dog. I've left the back door open for her. Hello. He's having to wander through. Yeah, you've got such a passion for these books, and it's kind of rubbed off on me, as you will see a little bit later on. Loved Higgis, by the way, this week. Predator Expanded Media. My God. I had no idea half of these things existed. Callie, you were talking about watching the documentary Hail to the Deadites. That's been on my watch list for quite a while. I've moved it up now, thanks to what you've said about it. It sounds fascinating. Sounds along a similar line to Trekkies, whereas it concentrates more on the fans of the movies rather than the actual movies themselves. So yeah, I will be taking a look at that. Guy, you watched season 3, episode 1 of The Bear. I've not caught up with this one yet. I need to start on this because I'm hearing brilliant things about it, but I've not had a chance to add it to the watch list yet. And those Dark Horse Predator comic books look amazing. Very, very good. Not sure whether there's something I would buy, but they look real collector's items. And as for Batman versus, what is it? Batman versus Predator. I didn't even know that was a thing, Guy. That's a new one on me. And Callie, I loved your idea of a Predator TV series basically set on the Predator homeworld. I'd not heard of anything like that before. Humans exploring space and crash landing on the Predator homeworld and having to integrate with them, because basically rescue from that planet is like years away. So they have no choice but to integrate with the inhabitants of the planet, which just happen to be predators. So I think that sounds like an excellent idea. I think you should get in touch with Disney on that one. Definitely, certainly worth a go. But yeah, cracking episode, guys. Really, really enjoyed that. Looking forward to seeing what you've got for us next week. Mark, morning, Mark. Now then, Jurassic World Dominion is, in my opinion, completely different to the rest of the movies. This is what I'm thinking. I'm hoping it's going to be different in a good way. There is a car chase scene through the streets involving the dinosaurs, and to me it felt more like a Jimmy Bond movie. Jimmy Bond. Yeah, I'm not really sure whether it's my type of thing. I will give it a watch, obviously, because I bought it on 4K quite a while ago, and I do need to get it watched. So that will be added to the watch list, which there will be more information on next week. So yeah, it is one that I want to take a look at, but as I said last week, I'm in no great hurry to sort of rush upstairs and pop it in the machine. So did you ever find out who stole your car? Let me know and I'll chin the bastards. I did find out who it was, yes. Yeah, and they met with a fate that I will share with you a little bit later on, because Callie was asking me about that as well. The Raid is a fantastic film. Get it watched. Ordered a copy. Doesn't sound like my kind of film. It's going to take me way out of my comfort zone, which is the idea of Challenge Tony, I suppose. So yeah, I will be getting it watched at some point. Did I hear that right? Give away the John Wick movies. Wash your mouth out and don't speak such nonsense. Only reason being that once I've watched them, and I've said this before, especially with new films, once I've watched them, I don't feel the need to watch them again. It's not like the old classics where I will bang them on sort of, once or twice every year or something and watch them again and again. It's not like that. Once I've seen a new movie, unless it's absolutely like the best thing I've ever seen, I know that all they're going to do is gather dust on the DVD or Blu-ray shelf, and they're never going to see the light of day again. So much as I would love to keep them, I'm trying to thin things out, which is not working at the moment because I'm buying more than I'm actually watching and giving away. So it's not working at all. But I did enjoy the first one, as you know from that review yesterday, that little review, which thanks for that, by the way, guys, for the reception that the mini reviews are getting. You seem to quite like them, so I've hit a sort of a vein there. So I'm going to keep going with those. Yeah, as good as John Wick was, I don't think it's something that I'm going to be watching again. I've seen it now and that's it, and it was brilliant. I guess I'm just going to have to go and wash my mouth out on that one. Yes, The Continental is only 3 episodes, not 6. Perfect. They're only 90 minutes. It's like watching a short movie. So I will be taking that in when I've watched all of the John Wick movies. And I believe the last one is 3 hours long, so that's going to take... that's probably going to be in 2 parts for a start. I watched The Foreigner off the back of Jason's recommendation, and it is a decent movie. I do want to watch it, and again, I've added that to the watch list. It looks a lot darker than any Jackie Chan film I've ever seen. Normally his movies look sort of bright, breezy, fun, kickabout martial arts type things, but this looks very, 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 very serious. I watched your video on the box this week, so no headphones, so I couldn't hear any potential snoring. Whether you'll hear it now, I don't know, because she's sitting. Oh, she's not. She's awake. Bless her. Hello. So you probably won't hear her snoring unless she falls asleep on the floor. The only books I usually read are autobiographies, but after watching The Tattooist of Auschwitz, which I haven't seen yet, I downloaded it to my Kindle. It was only £6. What are your favourite biographies, Mark? I'm curious about that. What kind of biographies? Show them off. Let's see what you've got. I'm listening to listening to one at the moment on Charlie Chaplin, because I'm basically trying to take in as many movies as his as I can. I've got as far as number 1 so far. But the autobiography is absolutely brilliant. Really enjoying it. I've got 2 more on the go that I'm reading. First one's that one. My Life Loving Barbara Windsor by Your Side by her longtime husband Scott Mitchell. I'm only a few pages into this, but his love for this woman shines through. He genuinely thought the world of her. And I know people thought he was a bit of a gold digger when he first got rid of her, because obviously he was a lot younger than her. But he comes across as such a nice, genuine fella in this. But that's one I'm reading. And the other one I've got on the go at the moment, I'm only a few pages into this, Reel to Reel, A Life in Film. This is the life of Noel Cronin. Now, Noel Cronin is the founder of Talking Pictures TV, one of the best channels on the box. If you like nostalgia, old movies, old TV series, Talking Pictures TV is the place to be. And this is the guy that launched it. And this is the story of his career. He's been in film pretty much all his life, from being sort of a post boy and an errand boy in the film studios and this, that and the other. I'm told he tells some fascinating stories in this. As I say, I'm only about 5 pages into this one as well. And why do I have 2 or 3 going at the same time? Because that's what I've always done. But yeah, what I've read of this, I think I'm really going to enjoy that one. So they're the 2 that I'm reading at the moment. So I'd be very curious to know, what would you class as your 3 favourite autobiographies? I'd be very curious to know that. Let's see. Enjoyed both of your reviews of John Wick and Axel F. More, please. Thank you, Mark. Much appreciated. There will be more. There are 2 more going up. Well, it will have been last weekend by the time you're watching this. I've got reviews of the movie Sisu, and also Remembering Gene Wilder, a documentary that I watched on Prime last week while I was off work. So yeah, there will be more of those. So thanks for that, Mark. That's much appreciated. It's good to hear sort of positive feedback on these new little things that I'm trying. And you recommended Ash vs the Evil Dead to me, and the Continental. I've added both of those to the watch list. So thanks ever so much, Mark. Much appreciated, mate. Always good to hear from you. Callie, I forgot to read this comment out last week on yours. I don't know how I missed it. You were putting about Hunya Geeky showing. The show has definitely come a long way, but that's thanks in part to our viewers and supporters, without whom we wouldn't have a channel. So I totally get that, absolutely. We just have the most amazing bunch of viewers, and I've always said this. You would say the same about yours. I've got the most amazing bunch of, I don't want to call them followers. What's the right word for it? You know what I mean, don't you? The most amazing bunch of people who watch your videos and talk about them and give you stuff to talk about and comment on them. I couldn't wish for a better team. I really couldn't. So yeah, without the supporters and the viewers, we would be, well, we wouldn't have anybody to do it for. So right, on to this week's comment. Callie, Saturday morning Tony time. I absolutely love Spaceballs, way better than Star Wars. What? Really? I should imagine it's more fun than Star Wars, but I don't know about better. Maybe I'll agree when I've watched it, I don't know. When it comes to recording, I'm kind of glad I live alone. So for 90% of my vids, I'm on my own. Oh, and I've had that happen a few times. I could record this tomorrow and then wake up feeling like death. It was just sod's law. It just irritated the hell out of me. I could have done it Sunday morning. I could have done it easily on Sunday morning, but I thought I've got the whole week ahead of me. I can do it any morning I want and still have it uploaded by Saturday. And then, as I said last week, fate stepped in and ballsed it all up. So it's horrible when it happens, isn't it? Because you never know whether you're going to be in the mood or feeling up to it on another day. I'm a creature of habit. If I do this on Sunday morning, I am happy, because then I can cobble it together for the rest of the day, and then upload it to YouTube Sunday night, and I can just forget it. I don't need to worry about it. I can just plan for next Sundays. But let's just say it's a lesson learned. I won't be doing that again. Get the Tom Holland Spidey films finished. You are most definitely doing yourself a disservice by not watching them. I've got the last one to watch, which I will be watching hopefully later today. But I will not be watching any other movies until I've watched that one and the remainder of The Last Dragon. Oh, honey, I've been broken into before, so much like you. Things like that in films get under my skin more than any horror and gore. What can you say? It was an unfortunate thing that, well, unfortunate's not quite the word, but it was a horrible thing to happen. And knowing that, you know, basically yards away from you, there were people rifling through your drawers, your cupboards. We had a little safe that somebody bought us ages ago, under the stairs. They took that. There was nothing in it. It was just papers. We kept like passports and driving licenses. It was just papers and stuff like that in there. The dog's drinking water, by the way. There's nothing sus going on. But it was still a horrible thing to happen, and you know what it's like, just knowing that somebody has been in your house and been through all your personal stuff, stolen half of it and trashed the rest. It's bloody horrible. But Mark, you were asking whether they found out who it was. They did. One of them, let's see, there were two of them, well, there were three actually. I don't know what happened to the third one. One of them got stabbed, so he died, and the other one's in prison for God knows what. So yeah, it kind of all worked out in the end. I don't wish harm on anybody, but that completely destroyed us for months afterwards. We had cats at the time, and obviously when you're in bed, if you hear something moving downstairs, straight away you think, shit, not again. And obviously it was just the cats, because they were clumsy, they knocked things over, but it plays on your mind, and you know that. So yeah, you get where I'm coming from with that one, Callie. John Wick is an amazing franchise. I've watched the first three multiple times, still need to watch the fourth. Finding the time to watch the fourth is going to be the trick. 3 hours, so let's see. Mark Bailey, thank you, honey. And you are ever so slightly younger than me. I'm 40, but only just. This thing with age. Oh God, the remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers is a classic to me. The original is great too, but the 70s remake is a perfect example of how you do a remake. I quite agree. Absolutely loved it. Again, when it first came out, I thought it won't be as good as the original black and white version, and it was. I thought it was actually slightly better. So yeah, completely with you on that one. 3 episodes at 90 minutes each. That's basically an 80s trilogy. I think this is the Continental you're talking about. And it is. 80s movies were so much shorter. Nowadays, when you get these trilogies, each one's like 3-4 hours, and it's like, how the hell am I ever going to find time to get through that lot? Lord of the Rings, in case in point. Have you seen the Continental, by the way? I'm curious. With it being part of the John Wick universe and the fact that you enjoyed the first 3. I might have to give the Neverending Story another try. Maybe watching it with a more grown-up brain might change my opinion, but I doubt it. It is what it is. I will definitely watch it again because I purchased it on Blu-ray. I do tend to watch things a second time if there's a fair old gap in between the viewings, sort of decades, because obviously opinions change, your sensibilities change, all that sort of thing. So it's worth giving them a second go. But if you're not into family movies, you're not into family movies, and I'm not usually. That was just one of the exceptions to the rule that I did enjoy. My comments are so long and epic that you had to take a break. That's this damn thing, this bloody phone. It will only record 30 minutes worth of footage, and then it will kick me off. So when it gets to about 29 minutes, I have to take a break whether I like it or not, which is why I've ordered a book from Amazon on basically how to use the iPad, because I'm told you can not only film on the iPad. You can also edit on there. You can do the lot, and hopefully I will have no restrictions on, how long I can actually talk for without having to sort of stop it and then, transfer the video off the phone and onto another hard drive and then go back to doing another 30 minutes. It's just a pain in the arse, but we do what we do. Beverly Hills Cop 3, good film, but not as good as the first two. Yeah, I would agree with that. But saying that, I do, again, need to give it a second view just to see whether my opinion on that one holds up. As I know a couple of people who basically have said it's not a bad movie, quite enjoyed it. So I'll give it another go. Let's see. Still not started Red Dwarf. Mr. Fibble won't be happy. IYKYK. What is that? I don't know what that is. But Mr. Fibble is obviously something to do with Red Dwarf. I didn't know that. I basically mentioned Mr. Fibble last week and said that I couldn't remember what it was in connection with. But yes, you're right. I do need to start on Red Dwarf watch list again. Supernatural is on Prime, hon. Get on it. Oh, God, another one. 15 seasons or whatever it is. Yeah, I would love to. I just need to get my viewing into some sort of an order. Otherwise, it's definitely not going to happen. There is a rumour online that NECA are going to do Peter Cushing as Van Helsing as well. So they'll probably do them as a 3-pack at one point. So impressed with those figures, Callie. They looked amazing. So yes, there's a very, very good possibility that I will invest in those. And display them proudly on the shelf behind me if I can ever get these books off there. The Spider-Verse films are worth a watch, if just for the visuals alone. Opinion seems to be swaying in that direction, basically saying that you do need to watch those as well. I know the last one's quite long, so they will be on the watch list to do with that particular franchise, because that will round that franchise off very nicely, which means I've seen the Tobey Maguire, the Andrew Garfield, and the Tom Holland, and the Spidey verse, whatever you call it. Oh, here we go. We're off. She's heard something. Somebody's stirring. Carry On Columbus. The crappy 90s attempt at a Carry On film. I remember watching it, and the only joke that got a laugh from me was the shark joke. Basically, I have no recollection of that at all. Maybe, do I really need to watch that one again? Do I really want to watch it again? No, probably not. Thanks for the Higgis love, honey. Love those Star Wars books. My dad had those books of the films. He even had the novels to go with the Alien trilogy. I did used to have the paperback book that went with the original Alien movie, written by Alan Dean Foster, which I now wouldn't mind getting again. It was another of those sort of thick books, and it had colour photographs in the centre, so I'm going to be having a look to see whether I can get that for any kind of a reasonable price like I did those Star Wars books. Another great episode, on time for me to adult for a bit before I go out to see Guy Jessup Braithwaite play with Hoodoo Voodoo at the old Royal Oak. Looking forward to the next one, hon. Thanks, Callie, much appreciated. And next we have Jason. Jay. But I'm going to take a break because I'm coming up to 28 minutes. This is going to be a long one, folks. I hate to say it, but I'll be back in a sec. And we're back. Right, coming into the home stretch, guys. Jason, for fuck's sake, Jurassic World Dominion is brilliant. You've owned the movie for you've owned the movie for 2 years in September. Has it really been that long? And still not watched it because Karen. Where do I even start with this? They use the expression Karen. I'd never heard it before. Apparently it's somebody that knows everything. I've never heard it. Still not watched it because Karen didn't give it a good review, and Tom, Dick and Harry didn't like it. For fuck's sake, since when do you go by these reviews? Watch the film yourself, for fuck's sake. And then say to us, you were right, it was good. This film will get its terrestrial premiere on ITV in the next few months, and you've still to watch it and breathe. Okay, yeah, all right. That's going on next week's watch list. I know I do need to watch it. It's quite a long one as well, isn't it? So that might be for a Tuesday night, and I'm not central. There we go. That's better. Yes, you're very passionate about this one, so I think this is another one that I do need to get watched. Definitely get your films in order of watching. Get yourself a notebook to write them in, and neatly, page by page, not just write them in anyhow. Also put next to it who recommended it to you, because you always forget. You know me far too well. Hopefully this thing that I've ordered from Amazon will sort this out for me, and I will be showing it off next week. So it is in hand, let's say. Turner and Hooch, great film, alongside K9 2. That was released at the same time. Oh, excuse me. I've not seen either. I have got a hold of K9, Turner and Hooch, so I will be having a look at that one at some point. K9, is this the one with Belushi, James Belushi? I've not seen that one either, I'm sure I haven't. Longest Yard was changed to Meme Machine in the UK because Longest Yard is baseball jargon, and they thought us Brits wouldn't understand, so it became Meme Machine. I've had an inkling just recently to check out the Meme Machine, and I don't know why. I enjoy Burt Reynolds movies. Deliverance was brilliant, the Smokey and the Bandit movies, Hooper, all that. But The Longest Yard is one that never really appealed to me. But for some reason, the last couple of weeks, I've got this thing to watch it. So I have managed to get hold of a copy, so I will be taking a look at it. As for the remakes, I didn't realise there'd been 3 of them altogether. I don't know whether I'll be bothering with those, because I just want to get the first one watched. Yes, I've seen Unforgiven, great movie. We were talking about this last week, westerns that you said you wouldn't watch, basically because they were too old. And I said that I'm sure I'd remembered you mentioning Unforgiven and you enjoyed it, which is quite right by the looks of it. When you say you will purchase Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes on day one, as it's a definite watch, yeah, you said that about Jurassic World Dominion. Oh God, Jurassic World Dominion is going to die a hard death in it. So I'm guessing you will watch it in 2020, 2027. No, I won't. That is one, I think. No, I will say I'm going to watch it on the week that I purchase it, because I really am dying to see it. So yeah, I'm going to prove you wrong on that one. Let's see. Why don't you do your own never seen thread for 2025? That's not a bad idea, actually. And make Saturday night the night you do this. Obviously, it may not be yours or Rob's cup of tea, but that's the whole idea. But make sure it's movies you need to catch up on, not some shite no sod has heard of. Which it probably was last night. We watched a movie last night called Die Screaming Marianne, which is part of a box set that I'll be showing off very shortly. And I had a funny feeling everybody was going to be scratching their heads going, I don't know that one. So, Mark, you said, I did suggest last year that his Saturday movie and pizza night should always be a movie, but it should always be a movie himself and Rob have never seen, whatever it may be, and not some 60s, 70s film they've probably seen multiple times. There's a lot of 70s movies that Rob hasn't seen that I really, really want to introduce him to, including the films of Pete Walker, which I'll be coming on to in a bit. But I'm going to take that on board. I'm going to start my own never seen thread. It's on the cards, let's put it that way. It's definitely going to happen. So thanks for that, guys. Jason, you replied, I told him this way back in 1987. I can't remember what I was doing 2 hours ago, let alone back in 1987. Finally, getting burgled. That's shit, mate, that is. So I completely understand your home invasion movie phobia. Did they ever get those that did it? As I said, yeah, they did. Don't know about the third one, but one got stabbed, so he's dead. And the other one is in jail for, well, I assume he's still in jail for not just our burglary, but a lot of others as well. So yeah, hopefully that's drawn it to a close now. I've always said that if anyone broke into here, I would actually break their arms or legs. Because if they are in your house, by law you can defend yourself by any means possible. So even if they got back out the front door, I'd drag them back in so I can do the deed. I'd make sure the Ring doorbell didn't see the bit where I dragged them back in, though. You got it all planned, haven't you? Feel for you though, mate. It's not something you easily forget. Hopefully you're prepared now and have a baseball bat ready. No, I haven't got a baseball bat, but I am fanatical about making sure windows and doors, even after all this time, are locked at night. Whereas, you know, in the summer I used to leave like all the windows open so that, you know, you get a nice through draft coming through. Wouldn't dare do that now. I lock the door even if I'm just going round to the co-op, which is literally just round the corner, 5 minutes walk away. Whereas, you know, before that happened, I just left the door unlocked and not thought anything of it. So yeah, you don't ever forget something like that. As I say, it's frightening to think that people were literally downstairs while you were sleeping. It's horrible, absolutely horrible. Literally turning your place over, going through all your drawers and cupboards. It's awful. So yeah, appreciate that, Jace. But yeah, it's not nice. Have a good week, mate. Thanks, Jace. You'd never seen it for this week. Oh wow, didn't see this one coming. I see what you meant earlier in the week now. Week 27 of 50, Kramer versus Kramer from 1979. What a movie. After his wife leaves him, a work-obsessed Manhattan advertising executive is forced to learn long-neglected parenting skills, but a heated custody battle over the couple's young son deepens the wounds left by the separation. That pretty much sums it up. You said this has probably been on the BBC about 20 times. Never bothered with it. I also saw it all the time on the shelf in the video shop in the early 80s. It never interested me, and to be honest, I didn't even know what it was about. So last week I thought I'd take a look, as it seems to be a big movie. It was huge at the time. Have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would definitely watch it again, and if I saw a copy on DVD for £1, I'd pick it up so I'd have a hard copy, just in case I did want to watch it again. So after all these years, I can finally say I've seen this movie and you enjoyed it. I didn't see that one coming at all, and if you'd have tipped me off that you were going to watch it, I'd have thought he's going to be bored to death with that. 20 minutes in, he'll be lucky if he gets half an hour through it without taking it off. But you've surprised me pleasantly. Mark, you said nope. As in nope, not seen it, or nope, I wouldn't watch it. Guy said I've never fancied it either. Steve Mack, you were saying Hollywood goes through phases. This was an example of a series of family relationship movies. We had just had The Champ earlier that year. My God, that movie destroyed me. It did every time I watched it. My mother was just a gibbering wreck every time she watched it. And then this, Kramer versus Kramer, and the following year, Ordinary People would release, and the year after, On Golden Pond, both netting Oscars, as did Kramer versus Kramer, 5 Oscars, including Best Picture. Ordinary People was a very, very intense movie. This was Donald Sutherland, the lady that played Rhoda, can't remember her name. You know who it is. Can't remember. And Timothy Horton. Very, very deep movie. And On Golden Pond was just brilliant. Absolutely superb drama. I haven't seen that for years. I would love to watch that again. So I'm going to be going on to Prime to see whether they've got that, because I wouldn't mind watching that again. So thanks for all that, Jace. Much appreciated. Right, I'll show a couple of bits off that I've been buying. Now I've got all the notes out of the way. Let's see. Guy and Callie, you will love this. Especially Guy. First one, paperback books, Shadows of the Empire. I haven't started this yet, but this is one that I really do want to read, based on the fact that you were so passionate about it, Guy, when you were talking about it last week on the Star Wars Expanded Media episode. So I'm looking forward to getting into that, and we don't stop at that. I've got Heir to the Empire, which is the first, well, you will know this is the first part of the Timothy Zahn Thrawn trilogy, is it? Followed by, where are we? Dark Force Rising, which is volume 2, and The Last Command. So I'm really looking forward to getting into those. I haven't read a Star Wars book in decades, but I think I'm going to start with Shadows of the Empire and then move on to Heir of the Empire and the other 2 sequels. So looking forward to getting into those. If I need to read them in a different order, by the way, please advise. Let's see. Right. First off, a book which isn't movie related, but I'm going to show it, and I know I'm going to get a hail of abuse when I do. The Pinch of Nom air fryer, easy slimming meals. No, it isn't unboxed yet. Will I be actually showing myself unboxing it, because she said you wanted to see me struggle, and I don't know why. So if I don't film the actual unboxing of the air fryer, I will be filming what I'm going to cook in it when I get it unboxed. So, and cue the abuse. Right, what else have I got here? This one I got based on your review, Sam, The Music Lovers. This is Ken Russell's Life of, which one is it? Is it Tchaikovsky? Yeah, Tchaikovsky. Love Ken Russell's movies, absolutely brilliant. Sam, please watch The Devils. I'd be very curious to know what you make of that one. I have trouble with that movie every time I watch it. It's just horrible, really, really horrible, but brilliantly made. But certainly looking forward to getting a look at that. This one, I saw, I think we were doing something about Ray Winston, weren't we, a couple of weeks ago. And this was on his filmography, and I thought, I haven't seen that since I saw it on the video shelf when I worked down at State Mill Video. So I thought, where'd you get a copy of that? And they were all outrageously priced. So I went on to CEX and got it for, I think it was £8. Tank Malin. I have no idea what this is about, apart from the fact it's some kind of gangster-related thing starring Ray Winston. Anybody else in there? Let me know. Jason Connery's in it. Amanda Donohoe, who I remember from Castaway with Oliver Reed. I think they're the... Oh, Peter Wingard. Jason King. Wow, that's going to be worth a look. That's the back of it. It's a DVD, it's not a Blu-ray, but I don't care, because it's not available on Blu-ray for one thing, but I'm really looking forward to having a look at that. A couple of box sets. In light of ordering the Confessions box set, which is out in August, I think, around about August the 20th, I decided to get hold of this one. Now, I've been looking at this one for ages, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get it before it goes out of print and becomes outrageously expensive. Stanley Long's Adventures films, 70s sex comedy threesome. You've got Adventures of a Taxi Driver, of a Private Eye, and a Plumber's Mate. And what swung it for me was these extras. There are loads. There are literally loads. And you also get what looks like a very nice book. And I say what looks like because it's not even out the cellophane yet. A very nice book, basically documenting, I'm guessing, the history of the Adventures films. These were a bit like the poorer cousin of the Confessions films, if I remember right. Whether they're as good, I don't know. But they're just something that I really wanted, so I thought I'll grab those. And the name Pete Walker came up a little bit earlier. Pete Walker was the king of exploitation movies in the late 60s, early 70s. It was continually pushing the boundaries. It was continually winding the censors up. I'm just going to centralise myself again. There you go. Constantly having problems with the BBFC. So he's my kind of guy, definitely. And I've been looking at 2 box sets of his for quite a while. I thought, you know what, for the same reason I got the Adventures movies, I'm going to grab these before they go out of print and become stupidly expensive. The first one is the Pete Walker Sexploitation collection, and you've got here For Men Only, School for Sex, Call It Carol, which apparently is a brilliant drama, and Home Before Midnight, which really pushed the boundaries with the censors. I do know why, but I want to watch the movie before I comment on it. But you've got all 4, is it 4? 4 movies in there, and also again an absolute wealth of extras on the back there to keep you going, and not one to be put off. Now this is an early birthday present from Rob. He asked me what I wanted, and I spotted this on Amazon and pointed it out to him, and he says, oh, just take a picture of it and I'll see if I can get it. So what I did was I screenshotted HMV's pre-order page, and bless him, he came home with it last week, and I couldn't be more pleased with it. This is the horror films of Pete Walker, the Flesh and Blood show. I've been waiting for this for months. They were pushing the release date back constantly. I think it was first due to come out last year. Then it was December, and they finally got round to releasing it a couple of weeks back. And I'm so pleased I've got this. I'm so happy that I've got pretty much Pete Walker's complete filmography. There's all those on there. The movies you've got in here are Die Screaming Marianne, which we watched last night, which is that one, an early roll from Susan George. I might do a little video on this one, actually, a little review video. So I won't tell you too much about it now, but it's just a cracking thriller. Really, really enjoyed it. I'll just tip these out of here. And you've got the Flesh and Blood Show. Let's see. House of Whipcord. Frightmare. Oh, Jesus. House of Mortal Sin. Schizo. And The Comeback. The Comeback is the only one that I've seen, and I remember watching that years and years ago and thinking, bloody hell, that's nasty. Whether it'll live up to that now, I don't know. But what you also get here is a load of art cards, which I won't remove from the what's it, but they're all sort of posters of the movies, and also this lovely little book detailing the history of the movies, the problems he had with the censors. There are also a lot of documentaries which I'm really looking forward to. If I just have a quick flick through this, we know how rubbish I am at this, but you got all sorts in there. I really must find a better way of doing this, but that's a lovely little book that comes with the box set. And as I say, there are a lot of documentaries on there. You've got all of that lot. And a lot of them are documentaries on Pete Walker's battles with the BBFC, which I'm really, really looking forward to getting to grips with. As it was quite controversial in his day. He was deliberately, and he's admitted this, deliberately trying to wind the censors up and the public by pushing the boundaries of what was acceptable back then. Even in the 70s, they had their limits, believe it or not. Not many of them, but they did. So. Right, I do believe that is it, guys. Thanks ever so much for joining me. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like, thumbs up, subscribe, blah, blah. Have a brilliant week. I'll be back next week. I have forgotten to mention, and I will do this next week, my sort of foray into the world of Australian cinema. Jason, I've got this little book, this little handbook, Australian film, which basically got a lot of movies in there that I've never heard of, a lot that I have heard of. I've yet to find what you would call the definitive book on Australian cinema that's not something like £150 or something. I do need to find one. There must be one somewhere, and I'm amazed, absolutely astonished that nobody has written a book on exploitation movies, or if they have, I've not seen it. There's a market there, definitely a gap in the market. So but yes, I'll be talking more about that next week and showing you the Australian movies that I've actually got in my collection that I've got lined up to start this off with. So right, once again, thanks ever so much for joining me. Get out there and enjoy the sun while it lasts, and I'll be back again round about the same time next week. Have a brilliant week, folks, and again, thanks for joining me. Take care all. Ta-da.